So as you guys could tell from the thumbnail and the title of the video, I finally got a chance to buy an RTX 3000 series card. It was a little bit of a higher end card than I was hoping for, but I've got my hands on an RTX 3080 Ti. So after like months, probably since the start of the Newegg Shuffle, I have been entering every single day in order to try to get an RTX 3000 series card. I was originally shooting for an RTX 3070. It was going to be perfect for my setup. 1440p, 144 hertz, a 3070 with my 9900K would have been the perfect card. But of course, however things work out, I was entering for like every single card, every single day, and the one I ended up getting was the Gigabyte 3080 Ti Vision OC card, and this thing is awesome. The design of this thing is super sweet. The white fans, the like brushed metal finish. You get the Gigabyte logo that can be adjusted with RGB. It has a super beefed up cooling solution, everything you would really need for what technically is close enough to a 3090 in the 3080 Ti, just with half the VRAM, of course. So this thing has 12 gigs of VRAM. It's overclocked out of the factory from Gigabyte, giving you slightly higher boost clocks and base clocks. But overall, this thing is going to be a beast. However, that did come at a price premium. And the funniest part of this entire scenario is that 2 days after I won this and bought it on Newegg Shuffle, I got a notification from EVGA giving me the chance to buy a RTX 3080 for the win 3 Ultra Gaming or whatever it is, the low hash rate version, which I could care less about that. I'm just gonna be gaming on this card and maybe doing some creator content like, rendering my videos, some Blender stuff, things like that. But I ended up deciding, after putting a poll out there and all of that, to keep the 3080 Ti. And I actually found a colleague at work that was really, really wanting to get a 3080, and I ended up selling it to them at MSRP. So I felt really good about that. Not a card getting scalped or anything like that. Actually going to a gamer that's gonna use it and going to have a really, really awesome experience on that card. But like I said, this 3080 Ti came at quite a bit of a price premium. So the MSRP on this card is $1,529. And of course, with the Newegg Shuffle, they're comboing everything. And for the most part, it's motherboards that most people don't really want. So this thing was comboed with a Gigabyte Z590 Aorus Ultra motherboard, which is an awesome motherboard. But for the most part, if you're gonna upgrade now to 11th gen Intel, there's not very many people doing that, with 12th gen coming out and them changing the socket completely. So of course you do get PCIe Gen 4 with that board, you get all of that awesome stuff, but it's kind of a little bit late to upgrade to 11th gen if you're even gonna do that, when you can just wait for 12th gen and have a lot of the new features that are gonna come with those chips. So altogether, the combo was like $1,800, and that is quite a substantial amount of money that I was not really planning on spending. If I was gonna win like a 3070 combo, it was gonna be like $1,000, sell the motherboard, and then the card is closer to MSRP of like $700, which is really like a 3080 MSRP, but with how prices are going right now, it's not terrible. But that's really where the point of this video comes in, and that is to kind of go over how exactly I'm trying to kind of finance this card with some existing components that I now no longer need. So the system behind me is my everyday PC. It has a 9900K and a GTX 1660 Super that was really meant for my small form factor NR200 build. I originally had an RTX 2070 Super and was planning on actually just being able to buy an RTX 3000 series card, which is hard to believe at this point. So I ended up selling that card before anything came out. Sold it for less than what I paid for it, everything, and then of course now prices are insane. But either way, I've been gaming on the 1660 Super for the last 8 months, whatever it's been since RTX 3000's come out, just waiting for the opportunity to finally buy a card. So this is gonna be an awesome upgrade, but that small form factor build is obviously not really gonna happen at this point based on the price. I can sell that for quite a bit of money, around $350 to $400 on eBay. So I'm going to sell that 1660 Super, and along with a small form factor build, I was using an i7 7700, and although the CPU is 4 generations old at this point, they are still going for around $200 on the secondhand market as well. So I'm going to sell both of those, the 1660 Super and the i7 7700, which I have right here. So for the most part, I should get around $600 for the combo. And then that brings us to the board that came with the 3080 Ti, and that was the Gigabyte Aorus Ultra. And that thing MSRP is for $319. But with the market the way it is and people waiting for 12th gen Intel, which is gonna have a new socket, there's not a super high demand for those Z590 boards, especially the super high-end boards like that one. So those aren't going for what MSRP is, but I've already actually been able to sell that board for $200, which is fine with me. Although I'm taking a hit of $100 on the board, it does, bring some cost back from the overall combo that is the Newegg Shuffle. So right there, $200 for the motherboard already sold. I already actually have a bid on the 1660 Super for $300. I'd expect it to sell for around $400. And then if we can get $200 for the CPU, that's $800 right there from those 3 components. And of course, I do lose the small form factor build that I really, really wanted for just like a media center PC, but that brings the overall price of the combo and everything down to $1,000, brings the price of this down to $1,000. And that's a little bit more digestible. Of course, I'm getting rid of some components, so it's not, it is what it is. But for $1,000, that isn't a crazy price to pay for a 3080 Ti. So yeah, I mean, if I was able to get a combo with a 3070, I'd probably be able to keep the 3070, throw it in the system, and then actually put together that small form factor build. But with the price of this thing, it made more sense to get rid of those components, have a really, really nice system here with the 9900K and the 3080 Ti, and then, maybe hold off a little bit on getting maybe a 12th gen Intel chip for this PC, take the 9900K and put it in that NR200, and then get a small form factor GPU to go along with it. So yeah, I mean, I'm super, super pumped to get this 3080 Ti in my system and actually game on it, see what it's capable of, get it out of the box and see exactly, what it looks like. So if you're looking for like a more in-depth overview of the Gigabyte Vision series card, so I mean, these things are pretty much the same throughout the RTX 3000 series lineup. The same design with the brushless kind of metal finish, the 3 Windforce fans, the white fans, and the overall aesthetics are pretty much the exact same. So I'm really, really looking forward to getting this thing unboxed, installed in my system, get some gaming performance numbers on this thing, as well as some, Premiere renders and Blender renders and things like that to see what this thing is really capable of. They do market this really towards creators. They, expect you to install kind of studio drivers on this card, but it's a 3080 Ti at heart. It's a gaming card. So that's of course what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the GeForce drivers. We're gonna game on this thing. And I'm really looking forward to getting this thing installed, up and running. And I hope you guys stay tuned for that video, which will be coming up in a couple days. So if you were in my situation, would you have purchased the 3080 Ti, or would you have maybe just waited it out a little bit longer? I could have, of course, bought the 3080 and just kind of avoided the 3080 Ti completely, waited a little bit for a 3070 to possibly come my way through the shuffle or some other means. But yeah, what would you guys have done? Would you have gone with a 3080 Ti, really the top of the line gaming card at this point, with the 3090 kind of being unreachable and more towards the creators out there? Or would you have, gone and waited for one of those 3070s or 3080s? I'd really like to get your input down in the comments below, so leave that down there. If you enjoyed this video, if you're looking forward to see what this 3080 Ti is capable of, give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss the review of our RTX 3080 Ti. And I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.